I posted my slide deck from last semester in the spring. I haven't had a chance to update it just yet. It was a very busy weekend. There was a little invite that happened on Saturday where there were 3,000 cross country athletes running around in Golden Gate Park. And being an assistant cross country coach, my Saturday was like consumed by that. I was up for like 14 plus hours getting that organized. So Sunday, there's leave time for yourself on the weekend, and so do take care of yourselves. I hope this class is not a stressor for you. If at any point you need more time or you need an extension on things, just let me know. You should see it reflected in my revision policy. All of you are capable of getting 4 out of 4, like 100%. Just work on it. Show me that you're actually revisiting your mistakes and learning from them, and you will get an A. This is an elective, and you have various reasons for taking my class. So I really want you to feel like you learned something, that it's useful, that you're having fun. It's not my goal to stress you out with like a bunch of assignments. Okay. So for this week, you are working on shape patterns. This is the first assignment, exploring animations, and there's two really big ideas you need to know to get this done. One of them is called variables, and if you look at the starter code, it's at the very top. And the second piece is a bit of logic, and that's called if statements. So that's like down here, that kind of controls the behavior of your program. There's a lot of stuff going on, so a great place to start is looking over some of my slides. At this point, although some are out of date, I do have a couple like videos every now and then that kind of walk you through it. I talk through the slides, and like the main thing you need to know is the variables and if statements. Before that, you have like a flip book that happens. So watch this thing on your own time. Keep that analogy in mind because it's a very visual class. This is what will help you get through, right? Like with stroke, weight, and stroke, you think about a paintbrush and dipping it into different paints. Stroke weight's the pressure. Now I want you to think about a flip book. Each time there's incremental changes, right? And after a certain point, you got to reset your booklet. And if you want further, more structured lessons, you should have been added to my code.org section with this code JHNRGL. This is where you'll see lessons related to animation and games, which is kind of the theme of my class. You work through the first couple lessons, it's exactly as we did, drawing shapes, and then down here, they start talking about randomization, which you can use with variables, right? Lesson 5 down here. And then right afterwards you have, okay, you can skip sprites, you don't really need that. But then the draw loop, right? And then you start your lesson into animation. So please add yourselves to here. They have short, simple assignments, and sometimes I borrow 1 or 2 ideas from here to add it to a quiz. 5 has a good intro, and 7. If you've taken principles before, I hope variables and if statements are familiar, but if not, these things should get you up to speed in a very logical and digestible manner. Other resources inside Google Classroom, if you want a more like text book to read, then you have 2 of these, and they're all slightly different. So this one is written by the creators of P5.js. Lauren McCarthy is the one that adapted it. Casey Reese and Ben Fry are the one that made the original language, and I think Lauren is the one that made the JavaScript version. So under references in our Google Classroom, you have this textbook. And in this chapter, they do something very similar. They walk you through, okay, here's how you draw a shape. They kind of jump into more complicated animations, like making a circle follow your making an ellipse follow your mouse. But the key ideas here, and they have like starter code and examples and pretty pictures that show you what's going on. You can refer to this at any point in time. And if you need a recommendation on what chapter to read, here you go. The other one, I found another textbook that's vaguely related, is this one, Learning Processing. And this author is a professor, Daniel Schiffman. You will see him because when you Google things, he hosts the Coding Train channel on YouTube, and so a lot of people get help on YouTube from his channel, Coding Train, and he uses the same language you do, p5.js. So if you ever find yourself Googling and you end up on a YouTube video, it's likely you're going to encounter Daniel. And he has a green screen, he draws on the board, and does lots of cool stuff. This book The drawback about this book is it's processing based, and it's the Java implementation, not the JavaScript implementation. Those two are slightly different. The ideas are the same, the language for the most part is the same, but there are subtle differences. So be careful when you're borrowing code from here. You may need my help or someone else nearby that's somewhat familiar with Java and JavaScript to help you translate it over. And then maybe tomorrow I will show you how to get a circle moving. For now, I just want you to read, do a couple lessons on code.org to familiarize yourselves with variables first, and then if statements later. Helpful? Kinda? Mondays are always weird because they're so short. And I will be here walking around offering you help, but that's it for now. Just logistical overview. I directed you to some resources. Anything that says variables or if statements, hone in on those topics. Time is yours. Please code away.